welcome back to my channel. Today we have a video about why women glow after emotional healing. That's the topic of today's video. I kind of want to talk to you guys about how to heal emotionally and kind of the after effects of doing the inner work and emotional healing, and how that can make you have like the biggest glow up of your life. I feel like a lot of women now are wanting to glow up and they're like, how can I look better? I personally get a lot of people that are like, oh, you're glowing, like what's your skincare, what's your hair care, what's this, what's that? And I feel like I can confidently say that the biggest glow up that I've had is because of the work that I've done internally. I have spent more of my life healing than I have doing anything else. I think I'm known as a model, and people are like, oh, like Shivani's a model, but I'm like, actually, yeah, I'm a model and I have modeled, and that's probably what I'm known for more than anything else, but I've actually spent more time healing than I have focusing on my career. Healing for me has been the focus of my life, and then everything else has come after. Modeling has definitely allowed me the space, the time, the finances, the luxury of freedom to spend more time healing. I would say that I've noticed the biggest glow up in myself after I've done inner work and inner healing. So I kind of wanted to share with you guys some of the things that I've done and tips and tricks, and kind of like how healing can help you have the biggest glow up of your life. The emotional healing comes first, and then the physical changes come after it creates a glow. And it literally creates a glow from the inside out when you heal and you kind of get rid of all these blocks inside you. You really do start glowing differently. And I've noticed it amongst so many people when they've gone on a spiritual healing journey, that they just look different, they just look youthful. You know, you get people that are older that look a lot younger than they are, or they just have this calm presence and aura about them. That all comes from doing the inner work. And then on a physical level, I've got that healing and like doing the inner work, it reduces your cortisol levels and tension in the body. So if you are somebody on a physical level that's quite inflamed, has a lot of, say, water retention, or say like skinny fat, or things that you just can't get rid of, and you just feel like it's weighing you down, then you probably have high cortisol. Now, I could make a whole video about cortisol and how it starts or can start when you're a baby in your mum's womb, if your mother has experienced high levels of stress when she was carrying you, because cortisol is the stress hormone. You ever see people or hear people where they're like, I don't even eat that much and I can't get rid of the weight? That weight is probably your body making itself bigger because it feels like it needs to protect itself. Likewise, if you're like so skinny, it's probably your body making itself really small so that you're just not noticed. But that kind of physical thing happens from your inner world. So you have to heal to glow from the inside out, but more importantly, to reduce your cortisol and to just not have this tension and weight and water retention and all these things, and then like you'll just have a shift and a glow basically. I have so many tips of how to reduce your cortisol, regulate your nervous system, like cold showers, cold plunges, flower drops, flower essences, and just things like that will regulate your nervous system, but I'm going to go into that further as the video goes on. I've got sleep is really important, and you get better sleep when you have emotional peace, and sleep will basically rejuvenate you. That is when your cells are rejuvenating themselves. It's when they're turning over the most when you're sleeping. If you can find some peace in your healing and get rid of some of your demons and just do the inner work, then you'll probably be sleeping more. I personally sleep at least 9 hours a night. I know Mariah Carey sleeps 15 because she's like, I've got to keep this voice going. I owe so much to my sleep cycle. I think you need to sleep to heal physically and mentally, emotionally, in every way. Sleep is so important. But if you're stressed all the time, then you're not going to be able to sleep much, or your sleep will be disturbed. You know, when you sleep, you rejuvenate, and to be able to sleep, you need to heal and you need to be peaceful basically to get a good night's sleep. It just makes you look overall like more fresh when you've had a good night's sleep. And then I have less anxiety means softer facial expressions and more natural beauty. It's so true. When you are stressed, you look like you're stressed, you look like you're wired, or you're like frowning all the time, or you're like you've got your concentration face on. But when you're less stressed, you're more at ease, your expressions are softer. Have you seen the movie, is it Soul? I don't know, I can't remember what that movie is, the animated one. Oh, I think it's called Inside Out. Yeah, Inside Out. Have you seen the movie Inside Out, where that character, the animated character, I think it's the orange one, and it's called Anxiety, and it constantly is like its hair's like all wired and its eyes are like really wide. Yeah, so if you have emotional peace on the inside, then that will come across on your facial expressions and physically as well. You'll look a lot happier and a lot more relaxed and like glowed up. Okay, then I've got confidence becomes quieter and more powerful after healing. I feel like once you heal, you find a new found confidence. You don't feel the need to constantly fill the gaps. You don't feel the need to constantly fill the void, feed into other people. You just are grounded and confident, and that confidence oozes outwards. And yeah, you just become a bit quieter, and then when you do speak, it's more powerful. But yeah, I've just noticed after my healing journey, because I've worked on myself that much, I just don't really care to over explain or, you know, to yap so much or fill the gaps. I'm like a lot softer with the way I speak, calmer in my way of speaking and things like that. So it definitely, my voice has become a lot more powerful. So that is part of the physical glow up, right? Your voice, your throat chakra. Then I've got women stop seeking validation and start choosing themselves. Yeah, I feel like when you're younger and before you've done your healing journey, you as a woman could be someone that seeks validation, or as women when we're younger, we're like, oh, like, am I pretty enough? Am I liked? Am I this? Am I that? But then once you start healing and you like yourself and you go on this journey of love and you find that you really love yourself, etc., etc., then you just stop seeking validation and you really do choose yourself, and that comes across outwardly so well. The confidence is part of the glow up, and the more confident you are, the better you're going to come across. Boundaries create peace, and peace creates radiance. I have done a whole video just on peace, but boundaries are so important. They're such a huge part of the healing journey. Just say no. I say no to everything. If I don't want to hang with someone, no. If I don't want to talk to someone, no. If I don't want to do this or go out or eat this or be there, no. Whereas before it was always yes. And I'm really stand with my boundaries. I'll be like, no, I can't work with this person, or I don't want and you know, the more you do that, it's like the leaky bucket analogy, where you have loads of holes in the bucket and you're just constantly sealing them up, and then you have more energy for yourself and it's less getting drained and like poured out here, there and everywhere. Learn to use the word no. Okay, walking away from draining people changes your posture and presence. Have you ever noticed that when you're with someone that makes you uncomfortable, you visibly look uncomfortable? You might have your arms crossed or be a bit hunched over, or like be in the corner like wallflowering. So just walk away from draining people. Be around people that make you feel uplifted, confident, where you want to move and like, you know, be celebrated and like express yourself, and that all shines outwardly and it makes you more beautiful and it makes you glow more. Don't be around people that like where you feel all hunched up and your nervous system's not regulated, because then you're physically gonna look uncomfortable, and we don't want that. We want you to have a comfortable, nice, happy, joyful, beautiful experience here on this earth. Okay, then self-worth changes how a woman speaks, dresses and carries herself. I've already gone over this, but speaks more slowly and listens more. I feel like when you've gone on that journey of healing and you've done the inner work of like sitting with yourself in silence, in quiet, looking and addressing your issues, things that might be weighing you down, then you actually find that you start listening more and speaking less. And when you do speak, it's because you have something more important to say than just like randomly filling in the gaps. Healing removes emotional heaviness. People can feel it energetically. Yes, the work that you do on the inside definitely transcends to the outside, and people can feel a shift in you. I've had family members, friends and people like that have come to me and been like, you've changed so much. Like they've seen my journey and they've been like, you've changed. That's because I'm so much lighter on the inside, and that shows on the outside. I don't take things so seriously. I'm always laughing, smiling. Obviously not every day, but I'm just a lot lighter and a lot happier than I used to be. So I definitely think that is because of the work that I've done on the inside that's showing on the outside. And I've got happiness becomes internal, not dependent on attention from others. Definitely, you shouldn't be outsourcing your happiness to anyone, not anything, not any person, not any situation. Your happiness is your happiness, and it comes from you. It comes from within. You measure and you dictate how happy you are, not anybody else, not anything outside of yourself. You. And when you've got that down and anchored, like my happiness comes from me and I'm not going to let anyone mess with that. I'm not going to let anyone upset me. I'm not going to let any situation upset me. I'm going to be happy regardless. Then you're anchored in, and that really shows, because then you are like a powerful presence that is just happy from within. And you can't get knocked left, right and centre from anything really. And that is definitely a part of the glow up. Her femininity feels softer to express when she's not in survival mode and when survival mode ends. Healing reconnects women with joy, softness and playfulness. The more that you kind of get rid of these monsters that are created in your head, what I call like the shadows, where you have to do the shadow work, and say if you like make a list of all the things you don't like in your life, or maybe your childhood, or personality traits that you could get angry quickly or jealous quickly or feel sad quickly, and once you've tackled them one by one, you just have so much more space to create, space to live, space to enjoy this life, space to like look out the window and be like, wow, it's such a beautiful day, look at where I am, or I'm in this country, this is amazing, or I just love this cup of tea or matcha or whatever it is that you're drinking, you know, like space to be more present and to just take in what's happening in the moment, instead of like having this overthinking craziness of like, this could go wrong, this is happening, and like a million thoughts at one time. So you definitely can connect more with your joy, softness and inner child, playfulness, happiness. I've got she no longer chases, she attracts. That speaks for itself. Her intuition gets stronger when emotional chaos quiets down. The more inner work you do, the more you slay these demons, the more you wipe out these shadows, the more you are going to create clarity for your intuition to be stronger. And we want a strong intuition. A woman's intuition is insane. We all have it as women. We all have it as people, but a woman's intuition is so good. It's amazing. And, you know, you want to be in sync with your intuition, with your gifts, with whatever it is that you've been blessed with in this lifetime. Your inner voice, your inner knowing, that inner feeling of if a situation's right or wrong, or anything, like you want to be guided by your intuition. So the more clear things are and less cloudy, the more you'll be connected with your intuition, and the more you're connected with your intuition, the more attractive you are to other people, to yourself, just to your manifestations, to everything really, to the universe. Letting go of resentment can visibly change someone's face and aura. I feel like if you are resentful all the time, you just have that anger and resentment plastered on your face, and you just look like easily affected by things. Like you can get mad easily and like angry easy, and you're reactive quicker to things, and that can show on people's faces, because their face, have you ever seen someone just react really quickly to anger, and they go from like smiling and being like peaceful and happy to being like angry all in like a second? That quick reaction is all because you've got the resentment built up inside. So get rid of the resentment, dissolve it, find a way to slay that dragon, and then you'll just react to things a lot more calmer. You won't be so reactive and like so sensitive to everything going on outside of yourself, because you're anchored in from the inside, and that can physically make your face look a lot nicer. Healing teaches self-respect, and self-respect changes everything. It's so important, because once you learn to respect yourself, once you actually learn to heal yourself, and once you go on this journey of wanting to heal yourself, you are actually showing yourself the most love physically possible, because you are taking time out to correct these things or heal these things in yourself. So that's showing yourself love. I love myself so much that I'm going to spend this amount of days, months, years healing myself. I'm going to do this for myself. And by doing that for yourself, you're showing yourself self-love, and more than anything, you're showing yourself self-respect. And once you give yourself that respect, the bar is high, and anyone and anything and any situation that isn't showing you that love and that respect is going to fall underneath the bar, and then they're wiped out. Which is how it should be, right? Emotional maturity creates an elegance that makeup cannot fake. Yes, going on a healing journey definitely creates emotional maturity. It creates clarity and peacefulness and just an inner knowing and an inner confidence, and you cannot buy that as in the form of makeup and put it on your face. That is something, like, have you ever met anyone and they're like older than what they look, and they're just glowing and they just look peaceful and happy and they've got this inner glow? That is all because they've healed and they've done the healing work, or they're doing the healing work, and that definitely cannot be bought in the form of makeup. It is something that comes from within. And then finally, I've got the glow is really alignment, mind, body and emotions and spirit working together. It's true. And I've got real beauty often begins when a woman stops trying to prove her worth. The only person you need to prove yourself to is you, God, the universe, yourself. And my final message is healing is not just inner work, it becomes visible in every part of you. And it's so true. Yes, you can sit down, like I said, make a list of all the shadow things that you have to work on and stuff like that. But it really is in your day-to-day actions, your day-to-day experiences. It's in everything. I believe that healing doesn't just happen with a notebook, although it can. It doesn't just happen in a therapy session. It happens through going through real life experiences, travel, people, meeting new people, being in a situation that you don't want to be in, being in uncomfortable situations where you're panicking. All these moments are great ways to heal. Basically, healing is available all around us through our experiences, through the people that we meet, the mirrors. Like, every situation is an opportunity for healing. So yeah, I feel like get out there, have experiences, heal, work on yourself from the inside, and you will glow from the outside. Anyway, I loved making this video. I hope you guys loved it too. I have so many more tips about healing, nervous system regulation, things like that, frequencies, things that I do. So if these are things that you enjoy and you want to hear more about, and if you want to hear any particular stories about my personal healing journey, then please comment and let me know. I love hearing from you guys and I love making these videos, and I will see you guys in the next one.